This is not a performance season, it's a learning season. And learning seasons are supposed to feel uncomfortable. In a fixed mindset, discomfort signals failure. In a growth mindset, discomfort signals growth. That difference alone can completely change how you experience your career transition.
I'm Lisa Harding, ex-EdTech CEO turned certified teacher career coach. It wasn't all that long ago that I was recruiting, interviewing, and hiring teachers for roles in corporate America. Teachers that ended up being some of my all-time best employees. Fast forward through my own career transition where I left my role as CEO to become a stay-at-home mom. I now work with and empower teachers to transform their lives by turning their once distant career dreams into realities. In this podcast, I give you simple, actionable, step-by-step strategies to help you do the same. If you're a burnt-out teacher or simply need a change and you're looking to create a life you love, you're in the right place, friend. Let's get started.
Hey friends, welcome back to Beyond the Classroom. I'm Lisa Harding. If you're listening today because you know you want out of the classroom, or you're at least starting to wonder if there's something else out there for you, I want to begin by saying this clearly. There is nothing wrong with you. And if the career transition process feels harder, slower, or more emotionally draining than you expected, that doesn't mean you're failing. Very often, it means you're learning. Today, I want to talk about growth mindset, but not in the way it's usually talked about in schools. Not as a poster on the wall, not as a slogan, and definitely not as just think positive. I want to talk about what growth mindset actually is, where it came from, and why it matters so much when you're trying to change careers after years in the classroom. Because here's the truth. Many teachers intellectually understand growth mindset, but struggle to apply it to themselves. And that disconnect is one of the biggest reasons career transitions feel so discouraging. The concept of growth mindset comes from decades of research in psychology and education, most notably the work of psychologist Carol Dweck. Her research focused on how people think about ability, intelligence, and talent. Specifically, whether they believe these traits are fixed or can be developed over time. In simple terms, a fixed mindset assumes that ability is something you either have or you don't. You're good at something or you're not. A growth mindset, on the other hand, recognizes that skills are built through effort, feedback, and learning over time. This research became incredibly influential in education because it helped explain why students with similar abilities could have very different outcomes, often based on how they interpreted struggle, mistakes, and challenge. But here's what often gets missed. Growth mindset was never meant to suggest that effort alone guarantees success, or that struggle should be ignored or minimized. It's not about pretending things are easy. It's about understanding that learning is the process, and discomfort is part of that process. And that distinction matters a lot when you're a teacher trying to leave the classroom. Because teachers are high performers. You spent years becoming competent, confident, and capable in your role. You knew the expectations. You understood the system. You were the expert in the room. Then you decide to explore a career change, and suddenly you're not the expert anymore. You don't know the job titles. You don't know the hiring language. You don't know whether your resume is right. You don't know how long this will take. And that shift from expert to beginner can feel incredibly destabilizing. What I see over and over again is this. Teachers don't struggle with growth mindset in the classroom, but they struggle to give themselves permission to be learners again. Instead, many slip into what looks like a fixed mindset without realizing it. It sounds like, if I were good at this, it wouldn't feel so hard. If this were meant for me, I'd be clearer by now. Other teachers seem further along. Maybe I missed my window. But here's the reframe I want you to hold on to. This is not a performance season. It's a learning season. And learning seasons are supposed to feel uncomfortable. In a fixed mindset, discomfort signals failure. In a growth mindset, discomfort signals growth. That difference alone can completely change how you experience your career transition. Let me make this practical. A fixed mindset in a job search often says, I need to know the right career before I take action. A growth mindset says, I'll learn what fits by exploring and testing. A fixed mindset says, I shouldn't apply until my resume is perfect. A growth mindset says, my resume will improve as I get feedback and experience. A fixed mindset says, if this doesn't work quickly, it probably won't work at all. A growth mindset says, progress isn't always visible at first, and that's normal. Same person, same skills, completely different outcomes. And this is why inside the Teacher Career Transition Academy, we start with mindset. Not because mindset is fluffy, but because without this foundation, every practical step feels heavier, more emotional, and more personal than it needs to. It's also why in our small group coaching sessions, we don't just focus on strategy. We normalize this stage. We talk openly about what it feels like to be in the messy middle, and we help teachers recalibrate in real time with coaches who see these patterns every single week. Because most teachers don't get stuck due to lack of motivation. They get stuck because they expect certainty before action. But clarity doesn't come first. Momentum does. If you're feeling overwhelmed right now, if you feel behind, if you're frustrated that you don't have answers yet, that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It usually means you're early. Early in learning a new system, early in rebuilding confidence, early in discovering what fits. And that's not a flaw, it's a phase. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one question to sit with this week. What if this discomfort doesn't mean I'm failing, but that I'm learning something new? You don't need to solve everything right now. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need permission to be a learner again. Next week, we're going to talk about the mindset traps that quietly keep teachers stuck, the ones that sound responsible on the surface but drain momentum underneath. You're not going to want to miss that conversation. Remember, friends, the journey is just the beginning. Embrace the adventure. If this episode resonated, be sure to subscribe, leave a quick review if you can, and check the show notes for free resources and ways to get support beyond the classroom.